Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Sarah Oakley, and I am the Manager of Professional Development and Networking here at WXN. We are happy to have you join us for today's webinar, Helping Small Businesses Sell to the Government of Canada, presented by Procurement Assistance Canada. Today, we are happy to have Nujat Bashir and Dolores Sui join us. Ms. Nujat Bashir is a policy analyst with Procurement Assistance Canada, specializing in assisting women, entrepreneurs, and businesses led by women. As part of this role, Nujat helps support business in the Ontario region by engaging with them and sharing information about how to access procurement opportunities with the federal government. Nujat has been with the Government of Canada for approximately 10 years and is engaged with companies of all sizes in her roles within Global Affairs Canada's Trade Export Controls Bureau, the Build in Canada Innovation Program, which is currently Innovative Solutions Canada, and also at the Embassy of Canada in Washington, D.C. Ms. Dolores Sui has been working for the Government of Canada for over 15 years. She has held various positions in Public Services and Procurement Canada, Industry Canada, and Immigration, Refugee Citizenship Canada. Ms. Sui is responsible for supplier outreach and engagement for PACOR. She also delivers seminars that assist and inform suppliers on how to do business with the Government of Canada, how to navigate the federal procurement system, and how to utilize www.buyandsell.gc.ca and canadabuys.canada.ca, the federal procurement websites. I would wish you the best webinar and enjoy the information that you are about to receive. At the end, there will be a chance for Q&A. Also inviting you to put any questions you have throughout the event in the chat box as well.
Thank you, Sarah. Are we good to take over? Or awesome? Okay. I'll try and share my screen here. And just confirm for me that everyone can see my slides. Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you everyone and WXN for having us present to you and your network. So I believe we'll hopefully have more people roll in throughout the presentation, but before I get started, I mean, it would be really great to know who's already here and a bit about, your business. If you want to just type it in the chat, tell us what city you're from and what sort of goods or service you possibly sell. We would love to know that before we get started. And then if you have any questions, also feel free to type those in the chat. Okay, so we're Procurement Assistance Canada, and we have developed this seminar today for small and diverse businesses to basically learn more about us and our free services. Our role is basically to engage with businesses to assist, inform, and engage basically on informing you on how to sell your goods and services to the Government of Canada. We work to reduce procurement barriers also in an effort to ensure fairness in the process. We are basically a government unit that works to grow awareness of and access to procurement opportunities for diverse suppliers and bidders. So we do this by listening to your concerns, answering any questions, helping businesses understand the procurement process, and also helping you identify opportunities. We partner with community organizations and offer assistance that is also tailored to meet specific business needs, such as going out to events with organizations like WXN or organizations that cater to LGBTQ businesses. We'll try to cater our presentation, kind of work with a lot of diverse and underrepresented suppliers because we want more diversity in our supply chains. So let's start by talking about the potential opportunities available to you. Each year, the Government of Canada spends billions of dollars, 23 to 25 billion annually to be more precise there. And we award hundreds and thousands of contracts and make well over 1 million direct credit card purchases. This really represents a huge potential market for small businesses because you are primed to tap into these opportunities. If you think you're too small to compete, well, this is one of the myths we often hear. I would say, you're mistaken, because if you think about the diversity of our companies in Canada, most of them are small and medium sized. And if you're talking about the small percentage of contracts that government hands out for a lot of the big ticket items that you hear in the media, then sure, I might agree with you and say those do go to larger and well-established companies, because there are only a few that can manufacture and sell fighter aircraft, for example. But if you actually look at the majority of the contracts that we award at the federal level, they are valued at under $25,000 for goods, and then $40,000 for services. A lot of those do go to small businesses, small and medium businesses, and almost all of our credit card purchases that some people in government can make with credit cards directly are with vendors, and they often are valued at under $10,000. So a lot of government employees are equipped with these credit cards, and they can make purchases of that range. So it's actually very accessible for small businesses to try and tap into those opportunities. Smaller companies are also well positioned to take those smaller contracts, because we feel you have the advantage of being, local and having a better price for majority of the goods and services that we do need near our offices. But our office is here to help, even if you're a sole proprietor or consultant. We don't discriminate, and we're basically here to help underrepresented businesses get access and navigate these opportunities. If you think we only do business with large corporations, the truth is we buy more goods and services from micro, small, and medium enterprises, like I stressed before, because smaller companies vastly outnumber larger corporations in Canada. And that's just fact. I mean, we're mostly made up of small and medium businesses here. So your competitive edge comes from offering a wider range of specialized products and services, and from being local and innovative. So speaking of being innovative, I'll also talk about a few innovation programs at the end, such as the one called Innovative Solutions Canada, and also Innovation for Defense and Excellence in Security Canada, which is a program through the Department of National Defense. But these programs are also great, as they help companies get their first sale of innovative goods to the government. Government's your first customer. They get to try cool new technology, and then you get really valuable feedback after. So those are some great programs I would encourage you to check out for sure, but I'll talk about one of them a little later on in my slides. So this is another myth here. If you think government does not buy from companies like yours, well, I'd like to tell you, we've been working to make it easier for all kinds of suppliers to do business with us, including those that have little to no experience with the process. And it's all part of our mandate to conduct social procurement over the last 5 years. We've been really trying to be more inclusive in our supply chains, and we want to find out, more about what companies are facing in terms of barriers. So definitely engage with us, let us know, because it also helps us define our next policies for the next few years. But on your end, it really does help to research what the government's current priorities and mandates are also, because we buy all based on demand and supply. And if there is a demand for something and we're looking for it, it will show up on our tenders page, which I'll talk about in a bit. But basically, to date, we've been trying to make progress by making procurement processes easier for you, faster, more accessible, so that they're less burdensome, because we understand small businesses have limited time. They don't have the time to prepare long, lengthy bids, but we're always trying to streamline our documents to help make it easier. We're trying to experiment with pilot projects with visible minority groups and women-owned businesses and social enterprises, and trying to basically see how to increase opportunities for businesses run by these priority groups that we focus on. We also try to encourage businesses and departments, to connect through the Indigenous Business Directory. So we have one of those, and Indigenous is really the only category where we do have a set aside at the moment, where we expect all departments to spend 5% of their spending on Indigenous businesses and buying from them. So if you're an Indigenous business, you're in luck. Definitely take advantage of the set aside. And then we're constantly trying to expand opportunities for green goods and services by making environmentally friendly purchasing a focus as well. So another myth here is, if you think the government doesn't buy what you sell, well, that's another myth. We do buy a whole range of goods and services. A lot of them, as you can see, are listed there, but we also buy, food, exercise equipment, plumbing supplies, golf carts, bicycles, veterinarian and health services, and so much more. So it's really a wide range, and you won't know what we're buying until you invest some time and look through our marketplace, which is called canadabuys.canada.ca. But I'll cover that in a bit. And if you don't see something on there by searching and it doesn't appear, well, we may not just be buying it at this time, but we likely might in the future. So it's a good idea to keep checking. Next up, if you think the process is complicated, well, 10 years ago, I would have agreed with you, but it is true. There are a lot of different rules and policies that we do outline upfront in our documents. And like I said, we've been trying to change and simplify them, and real progress has been made. If you go on and look now, I mean, some of the improvements we've done include being able to submit bids electronically, getting paid faster. And in fact, we did a few initiatives where we tried to pay invoices faster within 15 days, and that seemed to have benefited a lot of SMEs. So we were also trying to simplify contract paperwork. But like I said, because it is fair, open competition and it's all transparent, we do have to lay out a lot of our federal laws, Treasury Board policies in the wording that we do have in all of our tenders, because in order to ensure fair competition, a lot of the legalese has to be there. So it can be difficult to go through and navigate these documents, but they can also, you can use Control F and often look for statement of work and mandatory criteria. You can often get used to the language and look for certain keywords to help you get through the documents. So yeah, if you think government procurement is centralized, well, government is actually represented by hundreds of departments and agencies, and they operate all across the country, not just in Ottawa. So when you're thinking of selling to us, you should really think of selling to 100 potential clients with different needs in different geographic locations. If you just take RCMP, for example, we have detachments all across the country, even in remote areas, and they need a whole range of services like janitorial services, landscaping, snow removal. So the list really goes on, and that's just one organization. We also have, embassies and missions worldwide. So you could also be selling to have your items, goods and services being used there or showcased there in the case of art. So definitely keep your eyes open and doors open, because there's a lot of opportunity there with who you're selling to. But in terms of competitive procurement, I know I've been mentioning this term a lot, and if you're still a bit confused, I can cover this in this slide. So basically, for purchases of goods that are over $25,000 and for some services that are around $40,000 and over, the government has to issue a public notice, and this is what's known as a tender notice. And all of our tender notices get shared on canadabuys.canada.ca, which is our government electronic tendering service. It's basically a formal process where we have to issue this document and compete, because like I said, it's open, fair, and transparent. We have to lay all of our cards on the table in our documents by laying out, who has the requirement, what they require, where and when the goods have to be delivered, goods or services, and how they intend to evaluate and pick the winner. So we lay all of that out in our documents. And anyone who's capable of, delivering and willing to take the time to prepare a bid has a fair shot at winning a contract. At the end, it has to be competitive, because we are using taxpayer dollars to buy these goods and services. So we're trying to get the best value for the Crown and the taxpayer. And like I said, contracts below $25,000 and $40,000 for services. So for goods, it's $25K. For services, it's $40K. So just remember those amounts. But anything lesser than those amounts, it could be a much less formal process, likely along the lines of, us looking for 3 quotes from 3 companies that are local, and then just going with the best quoted items. But for under $10,000, if there ever is a purchase of, let's say business cards, for example, and it's under $10,000, it could be as simple as, us calling and making that as like an online purchase, or doing it over the phone with a credit card. So there are some opportunities there for small businesses to get these under 10K contracts and under 25K, 20 and 40K contracts. But if you want to be proactive and tap into these opportunities, you have to make sure that buyers know where to find you, such as, by having an online presence. So that really helps for starters. Definitely have an online presence, and government buyers can find you that way. But in any case, if you think, if you're still wondering whether selling to government is right for you, I would encourage you to go to canadabuys.canada.ca today, and right now, even after this session, and search do a few keyword searches. You can use plain language. You don't even have to register to search. You can also use UN standard products and service codes to search for opportunities. And those are for some of the larger value contracts, so over 25K, over 40K. But definitely go on there and give it a try and set alerts if you know your GSIN numbers, or if you know some common keywords that give you the results that work for you. Set alerts and you'll always be notified to hear about those. But yeah, that's the website there, canadavice.canada.ca. Then we also have another website that some of you may be familiar with. It's called buyandsell.gc.ca, and in the past, that's where all of our tenders used to show up, but that site will soon be phasing out. But in the meantime, it is still a great source for detailed federal procurement information. So both the sites are great. If you are still lost and need some guidance on what, procurement policies and guidelines are applicable or how to register as a supplier, a lot of that info is still on buyandsell.gc.ca. So definitely reach out to us if you don't know where to find what information you're looking for. We can guide you. But yeah, both sites are still active, but one will soon be phased out. And you may see some tender opportunities that require electronic bidding. For those opportunities, you will be directed to register for an SAP Ariba account. And if you already have an account on there, set up a profile to bid on our opportunities. You might have to fill up a form and just answer some questions on our specific form. But if you have an account already, it's the same account you can use to bid on opportunities. But you will be directed to the site if you need to do an electronic bid on SAP Ariba. But for other tenders, you would need to be registered on the Supplier Registration Information System, which we can definitely guide you towards if you're lost. So reach out to us for a one-on-one meeting and we can show you how to do that. But you'll need a business number from CRA to show that you're a registered business here to get a procurement business number on our Supplier Registration Information System. So definitely go through and register your business if you're not already, but if you are, great, you're one step ahead there. So yeah, you can reach out to us with to book a one-on-one or attend our free seminars and webinars, which happen every Wednesday of the month. And we cycle through these topics here, as you can see. And these topics are great for starting out if you're a newbie. It would be good to start with the first topic and then go to the second, third, and fourth, and just doing them in sequence is typically the best way to get some basic foundational information. And then we have 6 regional offices across the country. So if you're located elsewhere, definitely reach out to our offices by email or phone, or the 1-800 line. If you call there, a real person will direct you to the right office and also be able to answer your questions for you. But I'm from the Toronto office, which is the Ontario regional office, and we're at Shepherd and Young. And then if you're still a bit lost, you can definitely reach out to us by booking that one-on-one meeting or click some of these resources, which you'll get in the slides afterwards to get started. So hopefully that was all, not a lot of information, but before I wrap up, I will still cover the innovation program that I mentioned earlier. So it's about 5 years old now, this program. If you haven't heard of it, it's really great to check out if you're a company in the innovative technology space and in the defense security space, but other topics also. I mean, they cover a lot of other themes, so it could be just for anybody, but I'll talk about it just in more detail here. So it's an access to innovation program that was launched in 2018, as you saw there. So this program is basically a way for the Army, Navy, and Air Force to translate their challenges into nice refined statements that they put out to the public, and they seek solutions that are crowdsourced, so like from the general public. It's really a program that's open to anybody, and it's for all Canadian innovators, whether you're defense prime, academia, small and medium-sized enterprise, not-for-profit, municipal, provincial, territorial entity, or regular individual in your basement trying to develop something. So if you think you have the solution to one of their specific challenges, they want to hear from you. So they're looking to solve challenges from every possible angle and bring new non-traditional thinking to the armed forces, and they welcome thinking from all sources such as agriculture, automotive industry, healthcare sector, or any combination really. as long as you can offer a breakthrough or a new approach to defense and security in solving the challenge that they put out. And it has to be specifically responding to the challenge that they put out. I'll talk about that in a bit, but basically all across the country, they've had great representation so far in this program. A lot of 53% of SMEs, 53% of participants have been SMEs, 27% have been academia. There's also been large industry companies that, 16% participation from them, and then 3 to 4% were not-for-profit, and the rest have been individuals who have received funding from this program. A really good distribution all across the country. And they've covered themes in these areas, as you can see. So they tend to cycle through a lot of these topics, but they often come up with new ones, and they'll seek a challenge in something different. But like drones, quantum technology, enhanced camouflage, they've basically covered a lot of these in their past challenges, but not to say they won't come up again. So if you work in these areas, definitely this is a program for you to check out. But the program is based on these 3 pillars, and they've realized that over the years, defense innovation was driven by government research labs, but our DRDC labs have all realized that in today's climate, technological development and innovation are more often generated by non-traditional players, such as the private sector and academia. So as the nature of conflicts and threats has rapidly evolved and continues to evolve, Canada's national defense and security system needs to also be more inclusive, collaborative, and integrated to effectively respond to the threats that we're facing out there. So the department has this program now to help them access the best solutions right here with the talent and ingenuity that we have in Canada. So this is the program that they're using to tap into that talent. So as you can see, there's been this $330.4 million in funding already issued to date and through 75 challenges. They've done 4 test drives, and they funded $21 million for those test drives. But basically, they have 6,500 innovators in their network, which is mainly their mailing list that they rely on to get the word out there about the program updates. So it's always growing, and we're trying to always get people on their mailing list for them at PAC, because that's one way we collaborate with this group, and we are out there promoting the program as well, just to help grow this network of innovators that they're building, so that everyone hears about the challenges right when they're out. But basically, the way that they come up with the challenges is they speak with their stakeholders within the department in the Air Force, Navy, Army, Cyber, and more, and they use the challenges that they're facing and put those through an ideation phase, which is basically a multidisciplinary collective brainstorming process. And in the ideation phase, they refine the challenges so that the general public can understand them, and then they publish those challenges for the innovator community, and share the word on their mailing list to see who can respond. And it usually stays open for about a month or so for each challenge, and then they'll accept a bunch of proposals and ideas, and then they'll get integrators to get involved, and they basically evaluate those proposals and use their scientific, defense, and security knowledge to provide key insights and identify linkages with the D&D section that put out the challenge, and they basically help determine which ones advance onwards and get to the adoption ready stage with however much funding they determine all of that. And ultimately, the program's success is based on the changes in defense capabilities that are generated for the armed forces, not on the number of contracts they award or the money that they've spent throughout the year. So the whole goal is to enhance defense capabilities. But they use basically these 5 elements to give away funding, and most often they've used competitive projects, but they've also done a few contests, and there's going to be a sandbox that'll be launching in 2024. But yeah, there's basically these different variations that they use depending on what stage of product development something might be at. So they tend to announce which one it is in the challenge. You'll see it listed clearly. But the benefits to the innovator is that the IP always remains with you, even if you participate and give your product with D&D. You can continue benefiting from selling your product and profiting from it. So IP will still remain with you, and that's a great benefit. Meanwhile, D&D also gets to use your technology and advance their military capabilities. Other benefits are you get to be a part of these really great events they put throughout the year. One of them they just did is called Ideas Marketplace. It's basically a second chance for a lot of the innovators that didn't get funding all the way through to showcase their products again to potential buyers within our armed forces and also other parts of government. But yeah, they basically brought back 50 unique technologies that came through the program, and those guys had the opportunity to pitch their solutions again to potential buyers and build networks and push their technology forward even more. These are some of the companies in the past that have received various amounts, as you can see, to further develop their innovation and idea that was selected. And some of these companies, Sapper Labs, Ecopia, TerraSense, they're actually small to medium size. So really great to hear that they've been receiving these amounts to further improve their products. But like I said, there's going to be a sandbox opening in 2024. It's all around countering uncrewed aerial systems. So if you're in this area, definitely go on their website and check it out. But they did previous sandboxes in this theme, and now they're returning again in 2024 to do this theme again, but just slightly different. So definitely look into that. And during COVID, the program was actually able to pivot and put 4 healthcare related challenges with the help of, National Research Council, Health Canada, and Public Health Agency of Canada. So not to say they won't do it again, they might, partner up with other departments. It may not always be defense related challenges, but it's really great that, they can pivot and work with other departments and collaborate to put out different sorts of challenges. So anyone really, if you're interested in the healthcare space, keep an eye open. Also, you might have other challenges there that could work for you. And then, like I said, these are some updates, like the sandbox in 2024 is really what I want to stress. Might be coming soon. There was a quantum challenge that they recently just closed on quantum technology. 50 proposals came through and they're now being evaluated. So they take a bit of time, but I mean, they will get back to them soon. But if you're still interested in signing up to their mailing list, this is one way you can do it. Go on their website and just put in your email. Then it should be an easy, quick form, but you can also email them if you have any specific questions. And yeah, that brings me to the end of my presentation. So I think we can dive into questions if anyone has on procurement or ideas, or we can start with the questions we received also, maybe. I'm not sure. If you want me to just take it over from here also, Virginia and Sarah, I think I'll go ahead with the questions that we've received maybe, and hopefully some of you are on the call today.
But I did type in a question only because I know one of our audience members.
Okay.
So I did ask about whether these forms and stuff, when they go on, is everything set up bilingual? Dolores did answer that, but I just want to, I know some of these small business people that are here, and just wanted to know, is it as easy to apply in French as it is in English?
Yeah, it should be. All our pages have to be bilingual. Accessibility standards mandates us to do it all for both languages. So definitely, if you still can't find the information you're looking for in the language you need, reach out to us, but it should all be bilingual.
And
or
then
must be,
Yeah, all our communication are in official languages. So if you're comfortable talk with us in French, we will respond in French. So both also interpreted, translated into English, submitted too. So in such a way, everyone will be getting the same amount of information.
Yeah, wonderful. And then I didn't know, I mean, I know you went through the websites. I threw a couple links into the chat and stuff. Did you, are you able to actually show kind of on the website, is there like a wizard or something that they can go through where it's step by step, or do they need to search the documents by using Control F each time?
Yeah, so it definitely helps to use Control F, because once you open a PDF document of like a tender, it's multiple pages and you can download it, and there's usually amendments. But if you're lost for any specific competition, like any competitive tender that's published, there's always a procurement authority listed there. You can reach out to them by email or phone, and each tender opportunity might have a different procurement authority listed, so they're always accessible and able to answer questions related to that specific tender opportunity. And I would show you now, like really quickly. I'll just try and share my screen to show you how to find these people's
you.
contact info for one.
Yeah,
specific-
I want it to, I want to make sure we kind of give them the easy steps of how to
Yeah.
get started. Like, this is your first step, fill out this
Exactly.
form,
Yeah, so the
that
first
sort
step
of
is to register as a supplier, like I mentioned. So definitely go do that. And I'll show where that is after, or email us for the link if you need. But on canadabuys.canada.ca, you'll land on this page. So you want to click search tenders and
Nugent, we cannot see your screen.
Oh, sorry, can you share your screen?
oh, you can't. Okay, wow.
We couldn't.
There we go. Should be there now. Okay.
Yeah, good
Okay.
now.
So once you land on
Perfect.
this
Yep,
page,
you're good.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what sort of companies are attending today, but if somebody could just provide a good or a service that I can look up real quick as an example, or I can just click one of these ones here that we see. Like, for example, this second one here, professional services for vehicle minimum sound. So that's a Transport Canada federal opportunity. You want to come here. There's contact information on this tab here, and there's always a contracting authority with name, number, and email. So this person for this specific tender will be able to answer all your questions. And for bidding documents, these are the ones that I referred to. You'll typically want to download them. Some of them might have a lot of amendments. And if you're ever overwhelmed with all the documents, you can always email the contracting authority and ask them, hi, can you just provide me with the latest document with all the amendments built in, and you can have a look at that if it's a bit too much for you to handle looking at a lot of documents. So they can always guide you and assist you further.
Wonderful. I just wanted to make sure, that they had an opportunity to kind of see where to get started and stuff.
Yeah.
So their very first thing is to get their product or service registered with you. And
The
then they
business
can,
registered.
and pardon me?
The business registered.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
So, yeah.
And then their second step would be to go to the Canada. Oh my gosh, I just lost the wording here.
Yeah, well, canadabuys.canada.ca, anyone can search even without registering. So even before you think you want to sell to us, maybe go see if we're even buying anything, because you can do that search that I just did without even having an account or being registered with us. So we're trying to make it easy so you can gauge and get feelers out there to see what's out there before you end up having to go through like the registration process. So it's totally accessible and doable without even registering.
I guess Virginia suggested some very good starting point, because federal procurement is a large with a lot of information, look at things from different angle. So it's very good idea to start with somewhere is manageable. First of all, identify whether federal government buy your kinds of goods and services at all before you really jump into anything else. I would love to say, even let's say, oh, for PAC, we have some training sessions. We can look at those process in more in-depth and even from different area to help you to improve your skill. But before you do anything like that, go to Canada Buys, do keyword search to see we actually buy your kind of goods and services. If we buy, yes, go ahead. So there's a good market for you to explore. But if just we don't happen to buy because government operation doesn't need that kind of goods and services, there's little opportunity there. So at least you tried. This is an informed decision, so you will be able to move on. Yeah, so that's the whole point. Earlier, I helped supplier. They're selling toys, so high quality toys, and government. We find that only a few contracts government bought in those instances government bought toys. It's either for global fair, they go to refugee camp to visit, or RCC, they have some special program they provided to the kids. So that's all. So there's only limited demands, maybe like 2 contracts in 5 years of time. Maybe it's not worth your time and effort to focus on this area. So you get what I mean? So yeah, it is something like for a professional service, doing landscaping services, do technical writing services. We buy tons of them repetitively, so many large contracts, so many small contracts. You'll find, wow, this is amazing, so many opportunities. So yeah, so you will tell where there's a good opportunity for you. Yeah.
That's very helpful, definitely. And then, yeah, for the national defense part of it, even just the tech possibilities, that's, I think, something that, you know, we weren't aware of. So we appreciate you sharing that. Does anyone have any questions that they want to put in the chat?
We also welcome you to turn on your microphone to chat if you want to, or if you're able to. I know it's not always possible, but we are monitoring the chat as well.
Hi, so it's Sandra from Philo Import. Can we hear me?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. So first of all, thank you very much. It was very instructive. So I had a question since we have time, if you don't mind. So my idea, so Philo Import, we specialize in licensing products. So we develop, manufacture, we bring to market licensed products for the whole family. And one of the areas that I believe that we can definitely sell to the government would be our water bottles, because we manufacture them. We have patents. So I wanted to see where I should be going to look into what you explained, because it's quite wide, right? So we can custom make them as well, because we are manufactured. So is there a place that you can show me? Because earlier you were showing an example. Maybe if we can take my example. If obviously if you have time.
Oh, you're muted, Nujat.
Okay, so I'll share my screen here again. And so water bottle, is it reusable? I'm guessing that's how you.
Yeah, so we have a whole collection of water bottles that are BPA free plastic.
Yep.
So they're reusable. So that's why earlier when you were talking about, you know, being more green and whatnot, so I could actually sell them, because we do have a trademark worldwide, or like I was saying earlier, I can co-brand them, so I can do them, I don't know, hypothetically with the military, you know, like logo, something like that. So
Yeah, it looks like they do buy bottled water, but I'm like, this is a past contract. So on our tendering website, you can see past contracts that have been awarded also, and what company received it, what value it was at. So if you notice a competitor and they were selling water bottles, so you know that would be a good opportunity for you next time to keep an eye and bid on if it ever comes up again. But this one, you're right, it was for the military, but I don't think they were looking for like nice bottles. They might just be looking for the plastic ones. But in terms of green and being more environmentally friendly, yes, we do like the reusable bottles in government, and you would better if you're proposing that over, let's say, a plastic bottle with like a label on it or something. So
yeah, absolutely.
It definitely would be a good item to sell to government if, you know, there's groups that are out at events and they give branded materials. But in government, we tend to not hand out too much swag, as you call it, at events. Like
no, for sure.
Recommended to do that at events. Like the most we hand out is like pens and stuff. So I don't know when last maybe a group did buy bottles, but if there are ever contracts for water bottles, it might be in the under $10,000 range, and they might be buying a small event here and there, but like it wouldn't be a large published contract like this. But I'm not sure.
So in my case, I when it's a lower bid like that, so who should I be contacting?
So for that one, you might have to talk to people who engage at events, at booths, and, you know, like network with government employees by using the phone book here. And I'm not sure how you would find them, but this other page I'm showing, it's basically a government phone book, and you can run an advanced search here, but I wouldn't even know who would buy it. Like I know our team buys products to give out at events, but it's mostly pens. Like I don't think we buy anything too substantial like bottles. We don't do because
I'm wondering if even
like for us, purely for federal government day-to-day operation, we don't need to buy water bottle. There has to be a need in government to see we kind of need to get those in stock for usage. Only in terms of department purchase, I think only at Canada 150 years anniversary, my regional office communication people, they bought red those stainless steel water bottle and labeled Canada 150 years and PSPC. So those, like New just mentioned, those are small dollar contracts. Usually it's better for you to, for those small dollar work, it's better for you to promote yourself to regional director level position or regional communication team. Those are the people, they know what kind of event they need to prepare different kind of souvenir for sometimes for foreign delegates. We have foreign delegates who visit our department, or for some special event like this 150 celebration. So in those instances, they will require you to put down certain words on the bottle in order to give out to the participants. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
If they ever hand out to like foreign dignitaries that visit them, like foreign delegates, I could see them giving out like reusable bottles with like some kind of can information on it. But there's also like employee recognition awards, like those types of people. Perhaps they could look into like including water bottles as like one of the roster of gifts that they give out. But I know we also rely on the web system that has gifts at different levels. So maybe they could lead you to that group that manages that website and include one of your bottles as like a gift at certain levels. So these would be some ideas. But yeah, I just
that's what I was thinking, like on the Canada Buys website, rather than getting so specific of saying
water
bottles, try the words recognition, try the word you know, it's something or promotion or something like that, like words like that, and see whether that would give you a better search and stuff. It might be just playing around in the search for a bit, right? Because we know that the products get used. The 150 anniversary is a great example that there would have been a lot of merch.
Yeah, so it looks like long service pins, like they're sometimes given out. But as you notice, there's tenders here from non-federal bodies of government. I don't know if you see on this right column here, there's colleges, often municipalities, city governments, provincial. All of their tenders also show up on our canadabuys.canada.ca. So it's actually a really great one-stop shop to just search and see what different government level bodies are buying. And you might be able to bid on one of their opportunities. But for those, unfortunately, we can't help you further because we don't have access to their bidding systems and all of that. But you can at least see them here and get general information about it. And then you can reach out to their respective procurement authorities to get more information if you're curious.
Excellent. Okay, very helpful. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Did anyone put anything in the chat?
Yeah, I answered some technical question already in terms of whether there's a technical issue with the Canada Buys. From time to time, we SAP Ariba, it is SAP, everyone knows that company. It has this Ariba website. Is widely used in US, is helping a lot of American company and the US government to post their tender opportunities. So federal government eventually adopted and authorized them to build Canada Buys for us. From time to time, they're doing upgrades, they're changing the layout. So we'll be notified. So far today it seems to be okay. Shouldn't be an issue.
But it does go down for maintenance time. But yeah, you should see a message and it'll be back up again.
Yeah, I threw in the links there again for you again, Ina, if that helps. Those were the links that Nugent's been using.
Yeah.
So
Canada
when
buys.
you go to Canada Buys to do the search, you can see what's coming up. And if you have to try multiple keyword search, not just single one. Sometimes play with the words will really help you to see what's commonly used within government environment. So provincial government can call things in a way, and federal can call it differently. Different provinces have different way of saying certain things. So when you play with the words, save them, bookmark them. So in the future, when you save that, like follow the search, like right now, Nugent tried to circle it for you, follow the search. So in the future, whenever this keywords in any tenders, this will send you an email. So in the morning, you'll get email notification based on the keywords. So that will save you a lot of time.
Yeah. And one really great other section that I want to show everyone on federal tenders, we often have at the bottom of most of our tenders, you'll see, oh wow, there's a lot of promotional items that just showed up. Where'd it go? Oh, so they were all awarded in the past. Okay. So you can see these kinds of departments tend to buy the promotional items. So it really makes sense. Citizenship, immigration, D&D, like, a lot of them.
There's a gold mine there for you, Sandra. Just search promotional items. There's all kinds.
Excellent.
And just see what the GSIN associated with promotional item was back in the day. You can always like look up that GSIN code, which is down here. T00GA, communication promotional material, including printing and identification. So if you just look up these things often and put an alert, you'll always get to be notified about any new ones coming up. So right now,
excellent.
but it looks like this company won it in the past, and then so you get that kind of idea of whether you should compete if you see your competitors' names getting contracts, right? So all of that is public info. But one thing I wanted to show right now that I can't, because it's not an active tender, to find an active one that's open and accepting bids. Just a second. Yeah, and it is a bit slow because going through so many tenders. We'll find a federal one here. So this one here with foreign affairs, it's for remote simultaneous interpretation service. I'm not sure if anyone is in that space here, but I'll just click that to show you real quick. So this section right here, partner with another business. If you're not comfortable dipping your toes and bidding on a contract on your own, you're always welcome to just list your company's name here. And right now there's none listed, but typically I've seen some companies and their company names listed here, and they can be reached out to by another company. And, you guys can partner up and put in a bid together if you don't think you're able to respond wholly to one big contract. Like you could always join up with other companies and in the same area and bid on it together. So that's a great section to always look into, and then add your company's name if you wish to be partnering up with somebody else. But yeah, any other questions? I want to go through GEDS if there's no questions. Just check here. None, I think, but GEDS is really powerful. Like you can search through organization roles, job titles. You can also see all the departments we buy for. Like Public Services and Procurement Canada is the main buying arm of the government of Canada. So a lot of these departments are departments that we help do purchasing for, although many of them have their own purchasing delegated authorities as well, so they can also do their own purchasing. But if you want more info on that, reach out to us and we can tell you what their authorities are and who buys what. But yeah, these are a lot of departments that are potential customers if you think about it. So just browse through the list. You can kind of get an idea of maybe who you should be selling to, and you can click through their organizations and find people, or you can do that job title or organization related keyword advanced search that I just did in this top left advanced search section. So searching by names is not very helpful, but you can go with job title, and you want to change that to contain them. Type whatever keywords that you think might land you to the right person in government, and then they could direct you, if they're not the right person, to somebody else who might be looking to buy a product that you're selling. Yeah, I'll stop sharing for a bit. Any other questions here?
I remember usually at this time when we have events, people always ask, oh, there's a diversity right now in the industry. Everyone talk about it. For government, do you need us to be certified in order to sell to you, to show we're an underrepresented company? This is very commonly we see recently. The answer is no. As the federal government at this time, we are aiming to reduce as much a barrier as possible. We don't force anybody to get certified by any third-party body in order to bid on contracts. You can just self-declare you are an underrepresented company. That's just good to go. So eventually, if you mention you are underrepresented company as a women company, we might select you for audit. So if you are not, actually you're not, so there will be consequences. So so keep that in mind. So this overall, we don't need any certification process to include in the procurement. Usually you will get a bonus points. So if you self-declare,
Yeah, so those certifying bodies like Women Business Enterprise Canada for women businesses, there's CGLCC, there's also CCAMC. So there's a few organizations out there that will certify companies. So definitely look into them if you feel like you belong to one of them. But like I think somebody asked in the questions, whether do we just buy goods and services? And I thought I stressed that, but yes, we do buy goods and services, both. We also buy just goods, just services, services associated with goods, construction services. There's a whole breakdown also. If you go on to the filters, right? If I'm sharing my screen, you'll see under category, this is how everything breaks down. So there's construction, goods, services, and services related to goods. If you only want to see a specific one, you tick box that one, and then only that one will show up. So you can also filter by all these other neat options, but you still filter with just only seeing federal opportunities, for example. We don't have a filter yet just for that, but maybe it'll come in the future. But for now, it's nice to see everyone else's opportunities too, I think. So
yeah.
Right. So good.
Yeah, first time when you just start, don't try to select anything. We put what is open, what is awarded, why. Open means a future opportunities that just give you idea, okay, what is coming up, whether those are something you want to consider. What have you awarded, what that for? It just allow you to see what we bought in the past in your area. What's the volume, who bought it, and where they're located. So just help you do some very good marketing research. So in the end, remember I mentioned you want to set up email notification, right? At that point, you just can get rid of awarded. So you just purely want to see what opportunity comes up, right? So that's just something pure, anything you see in your email box, that's for opportunity. Of course, another level, when you start to bid on one of the contract, at that moment, you want to register alert for that tender, because when you are preparing your proposal, contracting authority may just issue another amendment because some supplier ask questions, they change term condition in the tender. So you want to make sure you receive that notification first at front, and just in order for you to pivot your response accordingly. So this is two types of registration. One is just to register for the opportunity. The other is just exactly follow up on that tender. Every time for the tender, anything come up, you want the first one to know. So that's just how it help you to organize your search functions. And people talk about like accounting, CPA, and those areas, right? As the federal government, we have a database using to buy professional accounting audit services, engagement services, from short period of time to longer compliance audit throughout the year, from very small review job to large internal audit, external audit assistance. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of opportunities. We even have a very large database to try to manage those volume. Yeah, so just something for you to know.
I just had a quick question. So that directory that you went to, Nujit, is that internally your directory? Because like when I try to look up the same directory, I get GEDS .sage.
Yeah, that's the one. Click it.
That like that one would that's for the general public to, and it will give them the same results.
Essentially, it's like a phone book, like from the olden days. Like it's one of those.
Yeah, it just doesn't look the same as yours, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, the link never works when I share it, but like I can show you. I'll just Google it.
Yeah, I was just thinking because we could share the link on the chat.
I can get to it, but
This is the one that I found.
Website. It's called Gets 2.0 maybe, or Stage Gets 2.0, I think. So it's the first one, and when it looks like that, you might have to click the advanced search.
I think you're not sharing right now. Are you supposed to be sharing? Okay, just checking.
Oh, maybe it's the advanced search. That I wasn't in the advanced search, but I was in a general search.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to be able to share that link.
Yeah, and that link won't work even if you share it. It's just you have to Google and land on the page.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
The link because it's a great resource if you can use it.
Yes, and that's how I found it. I just thought it'd be good for, you know, for the chat in case anyone wanted to use that as a tool as well.
I shared this one, but I feel like every time I share it, never works. So I just stopped sharing it. I tell people just Google GEDS. It brings you here, and then you do have to go advanced search, and then it will look like the way I had the screen. And then advanced search, you want to go by title or organization or role. Those ones typically will give you results. The rest of them, you really have to know the person's name or phone number to look, so it's not useful here. But I like to look for it, like if someone is in, you know, change management, like we've looked up people like who offer services in this area, so they can often find people who are doing change management.
Perfect.
Want to reach these higher level people like director, senior director, people who have decision making power and buying authority. So they can definitely guide you if they're putting out a tender in the near future, and keep your company's name handy, because that's the best way to market yourself to government. Just network and talk to employees and people at the buying levels of government. So
yeah. Don't anticipate you just sign a contract just simply by call somebody or email somebody. If the goal is to understand what they buy and how they buy them, and of course promote yourself, at the same time just exchange information, so understand them better, so they will be more happily to help you to understand how they do business. So it will be easier for them to get future connection that way. So just the very first when you talk to a stranger, is very difficult for them to feel like they get pressured to do something right away at their so just keep that in mind. And people talk about marketing. A lot of people talk about like they're in those area, and those are also very good areas. So if you actually go to Canada Buy, try some keyword search, you will see we actually bought a lot of things in the marketing area. Sometimes it's through communication. It's not exactly called marketing, it's called communication. Government run campaigns or programs. Government run different kinds of road cross-country road show to just promote a new idea or new initiative. So if you look at that angle, not purely just, okay, I'm doing marketing. Yeah, so try to do research out.
Any other final questions? Don't know if we want to go back.
Yeah, so maybe any last. So again, like if we're like in the end, for sure, like we as a federal government, we buy so many things from smaller companies too, small dollar value. So different kind of services, editing, translation, like earlier, like a lot of things we touched on. So for sure, if there's things we haven't mentioned and you want to check it out, just put in the chat. We quickly give you some hint, or you can just feel free to go to the Canada Buy's website, do a search on your own. If you don't feel comfortable, you're not sure whether you search correctly, you always can contact NewJet and me, and we can definitely sit down with you to have a one-on-one with you just to show you how to use it properly.
So on our one-on-ones, we can help you better navigate these websites and figure out where you should look for your business. So definitely reach out for those one-on-ones. They're free and you can book as many. And we also have coaching services for companies who have tried bidding and maybe weren't successful, and you kind of have to prove that, you know, you weren't successful. You did give it a fair shot and it didn't work out. So those companies can often also apply for coaching one-on-one, even more specific help. So yeah, those are all free services our office offers.
So just to our audience, post-event, we will be sharing this recording, and we will also be sharing Dolores and Nugent's contact information so that you can book those one-on-ones with them for further information if you need it.
Are there any other final questions before? I know we only have a few people left on the line, and I just want to make sure everybody has their questions answered before we call it a day. Seems not, but if you do and you haven't had a chance, you're welcome to send them through or send them directly to myself as well. I can absolutely pass them along. And I want to say thank you to you both for your expertise. It was great. Definitely not something I could have taught anybody to do. It's wonderful to have welcomed you to show us around and explain how to go about the process. If you are interested, we will be sending along the recording. And if you're interested in anything WXN, if you are not a current member, you are welcome to reach out to myself. My email address is soakley@wxnetwork.com. I'm happy to explain anything to you. Happy to help you through memberships or any other any other events that are coming up, of which we do have a whole bunch. Welcoming you to fall events coming up. Our summers will have Monday Mojos. There are 3 Mondays a month from 12:30 to 1:30 Eastern time. August, we take a bit of a hiatus for the summer. September, we start back with our virtual event series where we will continue our search and our discovery of Brené Brown teachings. And we are going to be looking at Rise Like a Legend coming up. We will have a workshop on September 7th. And then workshop followed by a panel a couple weeks later. Then we will delve into Triumphing Like a Legend in October. Then we also have our book clubs. We have one book club left this year in Toronto on September 27th. We will continue our Monday Mojos as well in September. And of course, our Top 100 Gala will be coming up in November. So watch for those tickets to go on sale end of summer, early fall. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, connect with me if you are looking for any information. It's soakley@wxnetwork.com. If you aren't a member and you signed up for this, thank you very much for signing up, first of all. And you can become a WXN member for $150 for a year. There's also a monthly payment option if you are more apt to pay that way. Feel free to reach out at any time. And thank you both again for joining us to provide information on this very in-depth process, but very exciting process, and making the government websites a little bit more accessible for us all.
Very pleasant to be here, and if you have a lot of very good questions. So such a great group. You can tell people are very engaging and very nice people to work with. So pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and hope you look into those opportunities we shared today. So we'll look forward to speaking with you all on one-on-ones, if anything. Thanks, Sarah and Virginia, as well, for arranging everything.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. Okay.